Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The testimony featured here is based on actual federal courtroom proceedings involving Sean Diddy Combs, as reported by Inner City Press. This isn't tabloid gossip or social media hearsay. It's direct from court documents, real-time tweets, and verified legal transcripts. Today, we bring you an explosive account of what unfolded in court just moments ago, where hip-hop mogul Sean Jay-Z Carter broke his silence in a stunning public confrontation with Diddy. After months of rumors, leaked images, and speculation tying Jay-Z to some of the darkest allegations in entertainment history, the billionaire rapper walked into the courtroom alone. No entourage, no Roc Nation security, just a man facing a reckoning. What happened next? It left the courtroom speechless. Jay-Z didn't walk in as a friend, collaborator, or bystander. He walked in as a witness who declared, under oath, "I'm not taking the fall for you." If you think you've heard everything about the Diddy trial, trust us. This is different. Subscribe now and buckle in. This isn't just a trial. It's the collapse of an empire, and Jay-Z may have just set it on fire. The courtroom had been in a lull after hours of tedious back and forth between legal teams. The judge was reviewing a motion, the prosecution was preparing to reintroduce Cassie Ventura's prior testimony, and Diddy's lawyers looked smug and half bored. That's when the double doors swung open. Not gently, but like a scene change in a Broadway play. Jay-Z entered wearing a midnight navy suit so sharp it may as well have been made of steel. He didn't acknowledge the gallery, didn't nod, didn't blink. No Beyoncé. No Roc Nation team. Just him. A living legend, stepping into a courtroom that never expected to see him like this. Not as a mogul, but as a man. The gasps were audible. One journalist dropped her pen. Even the judge looked up, raising an eyebrow. Cassie leaned in to whisper something to her attorney. "And Diddy?" He turned and froze, eyes locked onto Jay like he was seeing a ghost. The kind you bury deep and pray never resurfaces. The court had denied Jay-Z's request to testify privately. Transparency was the ruling, and so this testimony wasn't just a bombshell, it was a declaration of war. No lyrics, no beats, just truth. Jay-Z took the stand and placed his hand on the Bible. His voice was calm, precise, but tight, like a rope pulled from both ends. "I want to make it clear," he began. "I came here because silence ain't an option no more." That sentence dropped like a hammer. The room shifted. This wasn't damage control. This was something else. He acknowledged that he had attended events hosted by Diddy. Yes, he'd been invited. Yes, he showed up. But no, he wasn't part of what others described. "What I saw and what I was told were two very different realities," Jay said, choosing every word deliberately. The courtroom leaned in. Diddy's legal team wasn't sure whether to smile or panic. Jay-Z wasn't denying proximity. He was challenging implication. "I saw the NDAs. I saw phones taken away. I saw back rooms with curtains. I never signed anything. I never went in those rooms. But I knew." And that's what changed everything. It was an admittance not of guilt, but of awareness. "There are parties," he told the jury, "and then there are parties. The kind designed for power, not fun. I started walking away when I saw the difference." Then Jay-Z detailed one specific night in 2015, a party allegedly for Diddy's son's birthday in Miami. "They had masks," he said, "real ones. One man walked past me in leather and heels. People laughed. I didn't." He paused, locking eyes with the jury. That man looked scared. Jay-Z said he left early, called his own driver, Didn't wait for the planned car service. I didn't want my name tied to whatever that was. Then the prosecution dropped the photo. Leaked, blurry, but authenticated. Jay-Z, Diddy, Beyoncé, and LeBron James, all standing around a man in a latex mask kneeling on a velvet pillow. The courtroom froze. "I saw that moment," Jay-Z said. "I was told it was performance art. I didn't laugh. I didn't stay." Then he turned to Diddy. "You knew people trusted you. You used that." Diddy's jaw dropped. The courtroom was electric. No one expected Jay-Z to go there, but he did, and he wasn't finished. What came next turned this testimony from bold to brutal. Jay recounted a phone call with Diddy from late 2018, just as whispers of legal trouble were circling. "They're coming for me," Diddy allegedly said. "Be careful who you stand next to." Jay-Z didn't mince words about that 2018 call. "I asked him point blank, 'Did you do anything I can't come back from?' Jay told the court. He said, 'It's just parties, Jay. Just experiences. Nobody gets hurt unless they want to.'" Jay paused. His voice cracked. "That was the last real conversation we had." He looked out at the courtroom. "I stopped answering his calls after that." Jay then revealed he began distancing himself, pulling out of Diddy-related events, instructing Roc Nation to back off from all collaborations. He wasn't just walking away quietly. He was cutting ties. Then came another bombshell, an email exchange between Jay-Z's lawyers and an anonymous party in 2020, warning him that NDAs from past events might be weaponized against attendees, even if they weren't involved. Jay nodded. "I knew what that meant. Silence was going to be used as a shield, and I wasn't going to get caught behind it." He ended this part of the testimony with a line that blew up on social media before court even recessed. "He used to be my brother. Now I see who he really was, and who I almost became by standing too close." As Jay-Z leaned forward in the witness chair, the courtroom could feel the shift, not just in tone, but in purpose. "I need to speak about my family," he said, "because when my name gets dragged, so does theirs." Every juror looked up. Even reporters paused mid-type. Jay-Z described the emotional toll on Beyoncé and their daughter, Blue Ivy. "Blue's old enough to read headlines now," he said. "She came to me asking what a freak-off was. That's not something a father should ever have to explain." He described the paparazzi outside their home, reporters stalking their daughter's school, and tabloid covers that blurred truth with fantasy. "My wife stood by me through everything," Jay said. "But this was different. This wasn't music industry politics. This was nuclear." Then he addressed a specific allegation that he and Beyoncé were present at the 2015 Miami event. From a folder, Jay-Z produced receipts, literally. "We were in Paris, our anniversary, hotel receipts, flight records, photographs, timestamps, multiple eyewitnesses. We weren't there." The court clerk verified the evidence. The judge confirmed the dates. Jay-Z didn't just defend his family, he proved their innocence. Jay-Z didn't stop. Next came the infamous claim that he had attended a freak-off at Gloria Estefan's Miami mansion. "I've never set foot in Gloria Estefan's house," he said firmly. "Not in Miami, not anywhere." He presented a timeline backed by security detail logs, transportation manifests, and event programs. On the alleged night, Jay-Z was in Los Angeles at a charity gala hosted by the Sean Carter Foundation at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Here's my speech transcript, the guest list, photos with the mayor. The court reviewed the evidence. The museum's security log matched the timestamps down to the minute. Then Jay-Z pivoted to the bigger issue, how these false narratives took hold. "It wasn't even a witness," he said. It was assumption. I went to a brunch, so now I'm complicit in everything? He submitted a report detailing how major outlets ran the story, without verifying it. They didn't even ask for comment. The judge acknowledged the validity of Jay-Z's records. The gallery murmured. Jay then looked toward the prosecution and said with unwavering resolve, "If you're dragging me into this trial, you better have more than gossip and guesses." Jay-Z turned his attention to the cultural environment that allowed these stories to fester. "When did accusation become conviction?" he asked. "When did we stop asking for proof?" He spoke of how his reputation, painstakingly built over decades, was being erased by hearsay. "My name isn't just mine. It's tied to my children, my wife, my entire legacy." He explained that the public's hunger for sensationalism had created a world where innuendo trumped truth. You don't need a lie to be loud. Just make it repeatable. Jay-Z wasn't defending just himself anymore. He was defending the idea that reputations matter, that accusations without evidence should be treated as slander, not fact. He reminded the courtroom of his efforts to uplift communities, invest in black businesses, and create change through Rock Nation and the Reform Alliance. "I've spent decades trying to build something clean, something that lasts, and in a single unverified sentence, all of it gets smeared." Jay-Z's voice didn't tremble. It roared. His tone wasn't angry. It was exhausted. But beneath that exhaustion was something else. Resolve. Addressing internet conspiracies, Jay-Z shook his head. "I've been called a lot of things in this business, but Illuminati puppet master, that's a new one?" He acknowledged the bizarre rumors tying him to everyone from Epstein to Aaliyah's death. TikTok edits, ominous music, and fog machines. People eat it up. He even held up a Reddit thread with thousands of upvotes speculating on his secret society ties. This passes for journalism now? He detailed how those lies created real-world consequences. Business partners backing out, death threats, family being stalked. Then he admitted something rare. "I didn't speak sooner because I thought the truth would be obvious. But maybe I underestimated how fast lies spread when they're well produced." Jay wasn't asking for sympathy. He was demanding discernment. "I'm not asking you to like me. I'm asking you to think, to demand proof. Because if we don't draw the line here, none of us are safe." He concluded this part of the testimony by stating, "This isn't about protecting myself. It's about making sure no one gets buried by rumor again." The prosecution began their cross-examination with a surgical tone. "Mr. Carter, you've provided logs, photos, receipts. That's compelling," the lead prosecutor said. Jay-Z nodded. "Because it's the truth." Then the prosecutor pivoted. "You've attended many of Diddy's events in the past. Brunches, award shows, industry parties." Jay confirmed. "Yes, public events. Nothing like what's being described here." The prosecutor leaned in. "Did you ever witness anything inappropriate at these events?" Jay hesitated. "Not for long, but enough to raise eyebrows." Then, number. "I saw celebrities networking. That's it." The prosecution pressed. "Did you ever see Cassie in distress?" Jay's jaw tightened. "Cassie was often there, but I never saw her harmed, never saw what she described." Then came the line that stopped the room. "That's what Russell Simmons said too." Objection. Sustained. But the implication lingered. Jay-Z didn't flinch. "If I'd seen it," he said, "I wouldn't be here as a witness. I'd be on trial." It was a quiet line, but it shook the room louder than any accusation. As Jay-Z stepped down from the witness stand, the courtroom was stunned into silence. He adjusted his suit jacket, glanced briefly toward the gallery, where Beyoncé was notably absent, and exited through the side door escorted by security. But the air in the room didn't settle. Murmurs rippled across benches. Reporters frantically updated headlines. Jay-Z breaks silence under oath. One tweet read, Jay-Z distances himself from Diddy fallout. Inside the courtroom, something deeper was unfolding. Juror 4, a middle-aged black woman in a beige pantsuit, scribbled furiously into her notebook. Juror 9, a man with a buzz cut and military posture, stared at the now empty witness chair as if expecting Jay to return. And in the far corner, a former bad boy intern, now a courtroom spectator, was seen wiping tears. He talked like he didn't know, she told a journalist during recess. Maybe he didn't see what we saw, or maybe he just looked away. Even Cassie, seated quietly beside her attorney, barely moved. But when Jay-Z's voice cracked, mentioning Blue Ivy, she looked up, not with sympathy, but with a question in her eyes. Was he protecting his family? Or just himself? Diddy, who had spent most of the day scribbling legal notes and glancing at exhibits, showed signs of unease. As Jay-Z's testimony cut deeper, he began tapping his pen more rapidly. His gaze darted around the courtroom, stopping on each juror as if searching for cracks in their resolve. Jay-Z hadn't just denied complicity. He'd delivered a strategic takedown, live and under oath. The judge called for a short recess. As the room emptied into the hallway, two sides emerged. One, declaring Jay-Z a hero, a father defending his name and legacy. The other, suspicious of what they saw as calculated damage control. He brought receipts, someone said. What more do you want? Another replied, he's been part of the system for decades. Don't let the suit fool you. The truth, as always, hovered somewhere in the tension, caught between loyalty and exposure, fame and fallout. Outside, camera flashes waited to ambush anyone exiting the building. Jay-Z didn't reappear. And inside, the jury was left to process what they'd just witnessed. Not just a celebrity testimony, but a historic public reckoning. Back at Rock Nation headquarters, the mood was tense. No official statement had been issued post-testimony. Reporters camped outside the building. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, offered only one line outside the courthouse. Mr. Carter testified truthfully and courageously. We stand by his integrity. But the world wasn't waiting for legal validation. By nightfall, every major media outlet had dissected the testimony. Some praised Jay-Z's clarity. Others called it self-preserving PR. Beyoncé's name trended globally for 36 hours. Her publicist declined to comment. Twitter and Instagram split into factions. Team Jay, Team Cassie, Team Nobody. Some users defended Jay as the lone man with the courage to speak. Others demanded to know why he hadn't spoken sooner. Meanwhile, the prosecution reviewed their next steps. Jay-Z hadn't blown up the case, but he had complicated it. His testimony shifted public perception and redirected the spotlight. Still, there were whispers of other witnesses to come, and of deeper levels to the story still buried under NDAs and sealed files. Jay-Z may have walked out of court untouched, but the legal war wasn't over. Not even close. Then came the wild card. 50 Cent, never one to stay quiet, posted a photo of Jay-Z on the stand with the caption, "Nice performance, but we ain't forgot them brunches, my guy." It went viral in minutes. The comment section exploded. Was 50 speaking from personal knowledge or just stirring the pot? Other celebrities began chiming in. Alicia Keys reposted a quote about truth cutting through silence. Questlove tweeted a row of cryptic eye emojis, and Oprah posted a story about building from ashes. The culture was watching. Jay-Z's name stayed at the top of trending lists, but this time with asterisks. He hadn't been exposed, but he hadn't escaped untouched either. His brand, built on integrity and innovation, was under the kind of scrutiny no PR team could fully manage. As for Diddy, his silence grew louder by the hour. The judge scheduled the next witness, and the trial pressed forward. But in the minds of the public and the press, Jay-Z's words lingered. "I'm not taking the fall for you." The empire of protection, secrets, and proximity was collapsing. And Jay had chosen his side.